Yeah, I'm inside now. It's a bit better. Um, uh, like audio. There we go. Lighting's good. Yeah. So just going a bit into the whole imprisonment thing. I've touched on it like in another video, like how it happened, but um, yeah. So if police didn't exist, I would have never been in that situation. So I was like, my mother, anyway, I've already spoken to that in the previous video. But basically, she manipulated a psychologist. She raped me when I was young, and then I came out to them about her sexual, wants, I guess. It's like horrific to talk about, but um, yeah, like I only told them, my mother and father, about that. And then I think weeks later, it was they called a psychiatrist and got her to issue. It's like what's it called, like a forcible treatment order. I think it's called in Victoria, Australia, where they literally get police to come and arrest you and take you to a mental ward, where you're like treated. So I don't have any mental condition, but my mother and father, I guess, wanted to discredit me. They didn't care. They didn't. No one mentioned anything like that before I told them about that. Like my mother doing the sexual stuff because I don't know, I was just an idiot, honestly, young adult. I was trying to be like get things out in the open is what I was thinking of, and I was like crazy trusting, and then they just abused that, obviously, and yeah, ended up in prison for 1 month for doing. It was like less than nothing. Like people say, oh, I've got locked up for nothing, basically. Like I was a normal citizen doing absolutely nothing. Like absolutely nothing. Like there was no incident where I attacked someone, or there was no incidents. There was no reports to police. There was no reports even to council or anything like that about. There was no abusive behavior, not even bad language. There was no court cases. Absolutely nothing. So my life was blank in terms of legal stuff. So just absolutely no issues in any area, in anything. Like I think I was at end of uni at the time, like 23, 24 maybe. I was around there. I don't remember the exact year. I think it was 24 at my age. Um, yeah, obviously. Yeah, so what happened? I got arrested by police. So yeah, it was. Yeah, so nothing was happening in my life. Yeah, there was no incidents whatsoever, absolutely zero. And then I told my parents about that, just being honest. And then they called a psychiatrist, made up it must have been horrific stories about me. One of the things that came out was really weird. Like that, they said my bedroom was messy. Like I'm not joking. That was a reason for imprisonment. My bedroom was messy. So they must have told the psychiatrist I was living with rats and food scraps, or I don't know. How do you describe it that bad that a psychiatrist is gonna like issue a treatment order to take you to prison? I don't even know what they said. I couldn't come up with something that evil, like a story that bad. There's a long one, but I'll just keep going. I think. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't even imagine the stories that they must have told to convince a psychiatrist to issue an arrest warrant for someone. Can you guys think of what could they have possibly told her that she issued an arrest warrant based on their stories alone? Did they say I attacked them or something? I've never been violent in my life with anyone. I'm an insanely passive person. Um, I just have no idea how they convinced her. They must have lied and said I attacked them. Yeah, but that was the thing. That didn't come out. Oh, maybe they said and they just wouldn't tell me because I think it like incite violence or something. But yeah, I've never hit anyone ever. I've never pushed anyone even. Like I've been pushed around myself at high school and stuff, but I've never pushed back anyone ever. I've like never even raised my voice. I'm not kidding, at people. Like never. I'm like a I'm like a super introvert. Like I just stay in my room, like watch articles online and like movies and stuff like that. And then I used to, like at the time I was going to church and yeah, it was a thing at church where like they kicked me out. So that was they probably exaggerated that story a lot. It was for like it was a really like Pentecostal thing I was doing. I was like dancing at the front, and they just didn't like the attention it was drawing. It's like it's kind of crazy. Like I got kicked out for that. Like that was it. I was dancing in church, and they said I couldn't come back. It's like actually really pathetic of them. Yeah. Anyway, what else? So yeah, I don't even know what they must have told Diane Grocott. Um, Yeah. So one of the reasons she told me, Diane, was that my room was extremely messy. Like later on, um, like yeah, I'll get to her activities are insanely illegal. Diane's to make this all happen. Yeah, so bad. Yeah, I think that's probably enough. I just have no idea what they must have said to her because it was literally like I was a model student starting my engineering career, um, starting my own like engineering business just straight out of uni. And then I told my parents, came out like honestly about the sexual stuff, and then I'm just in like prison the next month. Just like I did absolutely nothing. Yeah, it's insane. Um, yeah, family and stuff will probably say I was. Yeah, that's the thing. Like my parents like convinced everyone. Like even like Meg, my sister-in-law, who's like a nice person. Like she was a bit skeptical of me after that incident because I think they told her, but that was more after I was like diagnosed. No, it's a whole another thing. It's just like I'm just gonna make this a really long. I hope people don't mind. I'm gonna make this a really long video. You can skip forward or wherever if you want, but I'll sit down. Yeah, so I'll go through events and stuff. It's like kind of a crazy video. That's about. Alright. So, we've talked about the sexual stuff. Okay, so Diane Grocart comes to my house. Maybe I'll skip forward a bit. Alright, so in hospital, what they did, I think I already posted about this actually. Yeah. So I already posted about the hostel. Maybe look at a different video. Maybe that's it actually. Yeah, I don't need to go over it again. Yeah, I've reviewed this. I'm pretty sure it was a video. It wasn't like. I think it might have been Reels on Instagram. I did. Yeah, I did. It's like a few months ago now. Anyway, yeah, a horrific time. Yeah, being in prison is no joke. Especially like innocent, like just abiding by every laws, and you're in prison one day. Yeah. Anyway, I'll probably wrap it up there. Don't want to put it on too long, but yeah. So I've been fined $8,000 by police, probably $4,500 completely innocently for like annoying police or something like that. I've been in prison for a month. That's not related to the police. It's just my mother. Lying and Diane Grocott doing illegal activities. Yeah. So, but if police didn't exist, I would have never been arrested, obviously. Anyway, I think that's it. Yeah. It's become my life story, this whole thing. Anyway, don't want to sound like a sad sap, but yeah. What else? It's kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably enough. Yeah, but after the last thing, I'll just wrap it up. So after this whole event, I became like crazy introverted. Like I would just I didn't like I was young and I kind of threw into prison, so I just like didn't trust anyone at all. Like understandably, obviously. Like looking back on it, I should have kept a few of the friends around that I chucked away, but I just decided, nah, like fuck this. Like if people make up stories like that, I'll just like go it on my own. So like till now, to be honest, like I'm still on my own. Like I don't talk to anyone, don't text anyone, don't call any. Oh no, I have one friend. That's like not quite true. Yeah, Ethan is my one person I text and call. That was more recently last year. I started texting him again. Yeah, but because of this whole thing, I just like, yeah, I completely ditched everyone in my entire life. Like I probably had like 50 friends before that. But after that, it's like, yeah, like for people who haven't been in similar situations where someone's like discredited you and made up stories, it might sound like why would you just ditch everyone for like the mistakes of a few people? But it's almost like PTSD. Like your brain doesn't think that logically. It doesn't think, okay, there's a few bad people, I'll just like put them out of my life and I'll focus on the good ones. The brain, like I was in prison like with like drug addicts and mental people like trying to break into my room all night. Like literally it was, oh, I didn't want to think about it. Like seriously, insane. Um, and then being called crazy for the next like 8 years, um, because of like stories my mother made up. Yeah, if I was a girl, I'd be bawling right now. But I know guys don't cry for some reason. I don't know. Yeah. So that's been like my last. No, it was like 6 years, I guess. My last 6 years. I'm 30 now. Um, yeah. What else? Like a therapy session. Talk to YouTube. Might help other people though, going through a similar thing. Yeah, so I cut all the 50 people out of my life. That's boring. I already said that. I was focused on engineering, really, and I guess like girls, but I've always like waited for women. That's like a different thing. Like instead of like going out meeting girls, like I'll just like fixate on one and then just like wait for like years. I don't know. That was a bit silly, but anyway, my introverted self, I guess. Um, yeah, so that's been my life. Um, until recently, I came up with this idea for a prototype turbine. Um, so that's been my last like 2 years. I came up with like 10 years ago, but that was no. Well, I really came up with that 2 years ago, not 10 years ago. 10 years ago was a specific type of turbine that was like a new category, but 2 years ago I really thought of the idea of this turbine, and started developing it. Yeah, for those people in the future, I always say that because like no one's watching these except I'm sure like billions of people probably in the future after I break the efficiency record. It's close. Like I'm literally one night away, I think, from breaking the efficiency. Oh, maybe a month actually. Yeah, I'm testing systems at the moment. Um, yeah, yeah, super close to breaking the efficiency turbine efficiency record. So that'd be cray. So I'm like honestly, I'm like uploading these videos kind of as like a revenue source after I become famous. So I don't have to like upload new videos, and I just like yeah get lots of views on these old ones. Because it'd be interesting, I think, like seeing the origin story of someone before they're famous. Like these types of vlogs of what happened. Um, yeah. Yeah, so it's been a hard life. Definitely. Being in prison falsely. I don't know. Like, honestly, the biggest, I don't know. Don't want to go on too long. But, yeah. And then recently, I don't know. Yeah, I've started like squatting like everywhere. It's been interesting. Yeah, that's probably enough. Big, long, spill all the beans, just talking video. Oh, yeah. I seriously doubt anyone will watch any of this before I'm famous, but after I'm famous, it's interesting, like I said before. Origin stories are cool because you don't usually get this before. Anyway, I'll wrap it up there. Maybe I'll give like a little tidbit for people who are watching to the end of the video. What can I say? Yeah, I've said I'm using oxygen and propane, which isn't typical for a turbine. Okay, I'll leave it there. That's my little tidbit.